Ladies and gentlemen, God has come to reap the sinners. Today is October the 31st, better known as Halloween, and to celebrate this holiday, in inverted commas, celebrate Dark Castle. Now, many of you have never heard of Dark Castle. Those of you who have will probably running out of the room screaming at this point. I'm going to be playing this game on easy. Now, before you all mock me for playing the game on easy, I should point out that easy is a misnomer with Dark Castle. Easy doesn't exist. There are 3 difficulty levels, but even easy is bloody hard to get through. It's an achievement to beat the game just on easy. When you start the game, you have a choice of 4 different passages. It's a free choice, but we'll go for this one on the left here, because I'm going to try and show off every room this game has to offer, and possibly even beat the game. So yeah, this is Dark Castle in a nutshell. Controls are as thus. A jumps, B ducks, down and B will allow you to pick up items on the ground, C throws rocks, you aim your throwing arm with up and down, and that's it. Those are the controls. Unfortunately, they are extremely sloppy, so expect an awful amount of death and failure in this Halloween special video. So Dark Castle then has a surprisingly storied history. It came out first for the Apple Macintosh in 1986 and was kind of well received actually. Computer Gaming World, which is an obsolete magazine, named it the best arcade game they'd ever played for a computer system. Also, Masahiro Sakurai clearly works in this game, because tripping is a thing you can do, it's going to kill me. No, it's not. This zombie soldier guy, I assume he's meant to be a zombie because he's grey, but when do zombies have guns? Well, I haven't seen World War Z, so maybe there are zombies in that film that have guns, but there you go. So yeah, let's explain a little bit more about the gameplay. Didn't want to do that. I want to go up the stairs, god damn it. You actually have to press diagonally up and right to go up the stairs. That's another thing this game has that's a problem. If you drop even a small amount of space, then your character will get stunned. If he's stunned, he's a sitting duck for whatever horrors are populating Dark Castle. Get out of here. I don't understand why they've got guns. And why the guns appear to be shooting lightning bolts at me. It's very, very strange. So yeah, Dark Castle was well received. 5 years later, the developers, which I think is 360 Media, decided to port it onto the Mega Drive. Bad mistake. This is one of the worst ports I have ever seen. I can't actually vouch for Dark Castle's credibility in its original form on the Apple Macintosh because I've never played it. This, unfortunately, is the only version of the game that I have played. However, this is atrocious. So you might be thinking, why am I bothering to play it? Well, it's Halloween night, and to be honest, I did intend to play this for a long, long time. And when I said back in that October announcement video that I had a game set for my Halloween special, this was it. This was actually planned as far back as when I decided I was coming back to YouTube to be my Halloween special. Because the general feel of the game is that of a horror game, and also it's terrible. So it's a suitable Halloween game on both counts. Now to get this mace off the red, you gotta press down and B, and then use the C button to bludgeon this guy in the head. Just careful you don't trip over him. Oh, I got the key there. There's actually an element of RNG to that, by the way. If you take the right key, you just get a key, which you're meant to do to escape this room. You pull the wrong key, and a 1-ton weight drops on your head, because clearly the makers of this game were big fans of Monty Python and decided to reference it for whatever reason. Our main form of ammunition are rocks, which I say you throw with the C button. Now, you can have a maximum of 90 rocks on your person at any one time. However, something curious about your ammunition. If your ammunition count has an 80 as its first digit, or an 8 as the first digit, you cannot pick up any more rocks. It doesn't take you to the maximum of 90. Say you've got 85 rocks, you try and pick up another bag. Instead of taking you to the maximum, let me just concentrate to grab this rope for a second. Instead of taking you to the maximum, you can't have any until you get to 79. It's a weird little thing like that. The yellow boxes I'm picking up are elixir. Now you'll notice that occasionally... Will you get off the rope, please? Thank you. Occasionally you'll hit enemies and they will not actually kill you. Most things in this game will kill you in one shot. However, there was a delay on the rock button. I thought he was going to kill me. However, things like rats and bats will not kill you in one shot, but if they hit you, you'll hear a sort of strange farting sound and you will lose 1 elixir. So you want to have as much elixir as you can before the end of the game. I should also point out our main protagonist then. He's not actually named in the Mega Drive version at all, but the manual for the for the Macintosh version, which I state I haven't played, or indeed any of the other numerous ports of the Commodore 64, DOS, the Atari, even the CDI had a version. Good God. But his name is actually Duncan. I know he looks like a combination of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and the guy at the McDonald's that gives you your fries every weekend, but no. His name is Duncan, and he's here on a quest to defeat the evil Black Knight, who is hiding behind the center door in the, I suppose you could call it the hub of the game. Will you please get killed? Thank you. Also, picking up those rocks were pointless. We need that key to get through that door which shut behind us the moment we entered it. Here's the kicker though. That room was completely pointless to go. Well, sort of. Let's go inside the shield room next, the shield door. Because behind the shield door, if you can get to the end of it, is actually something rather useful. Also, this game has some of the worst sound effects I have ever heard. These one-eyed monkeys are going to drive me to insanity if I don't kill them soon. And this scene is totally not a rip-off of Donkey Kong, by the way. You've got the Torturer. Well, I assume it's the Torturer from earlier who had just hit in the head with a mace, so he recovered quickly. Throwing boulders at you. And because I've messed this up slightly on time, I'm going to have to try and jump over this boulder. With these controls, that's so easy. I probably should have ducked that, never mind. There is continues in this game, but as is usually tradition in Sega Mega Drive titles, or for non-UK folks, the Sega Genesis, I haven't forgotten you. There is a finite amount of continues. I believe there are, depending on which difficulty level you are playing on, the amount of continues you get before you die for certain and have to die for permanently and have to start again. Let's try ducking over the. No, that's not the right answer either. That sound effect, seriously. We're on the subject of sound effects then. How about this music? This is a rendition of Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. I'd be very surprised if most of you hadn't heard of it at least some point during your life, because it's a very well-known piece of music. It's used for a lot of things. Unfortunately, that is the only track that plays throughout this game. Let me try and get to the ladder in true Donkey Kong style. I'm not even going to bother getting that second lot of rocks. Just run to the exit, Duncan. So yeah, this is the only track that plays throughout the game. There is an option to turn it off, thankfully, which I will be doing if I ever game over or complete this screen. Because it's torture for me, and it's a torture for you. Also, these birds are extremely annoying. They come at you in droves like that. The only good thing about them is it gives me an excuse to actually say Stone the Crows in a video. And that wasn't a very good excuse. So anyway, you made this dragon take the ice bucket challenge, and he has to be allergic to ice water, so it kills him outright. No, get away from me, foul birds. That is going to be your end. I don't know. I have no idea if the dragon comes back to life after a certain amount of time, because certain other obstacles in this game do. I'm not hanging around to find out. And now the rope room. Something to mention about the way ropes work in this game. It's terrible. Seriously. You actually have to hold up before jumping towards a rope, which of course affects your throwing arm. I'm not going for that elixir because it's not worth it. Not too bad to get through that room. The next room with ropes in it that we come across later on is probably going to end me. And here we have an interesting little puzzle. Pull this switch to reveal which of these platforms you need to jump on. The ones that are blacked out are false platforms that will fall. You will fall through and die. Also, the jumping is extremely finicky, and you'll notice that every time we fall even a little bit of distance, Duncan does this stupid little pose. I'm going to try not to get hit by lightning. Pick up the shield, by the way, with down and B, then hold it above your head with B. And then wait forever for the lightning to strike you. Actually, I'm glad the game proved me wrong there. That didn't take long at all. Now we've got the shield, this game is slightly easier. Keyword being slightly. It's still not great. Actually, let's turn the music off like I said I would. Because it is driving me mad. I mean, I'm a big fan of classical music, certain pieces of classical music. Gustav, the Planet Suite, I love that, but no, this would drive me insane, so let's turn it off. Oh god, maybe I shouldn't have. That high-pitched buzzing, I hope that goes away. Alright, that went away a lot sooner than it should have, that's good. I'll keep the sound effects on even though they're terrible. So this gives me an excuse to play something a bit more fitting. Hit it, future me!
Spooky, scary skeletons.
God damn it, future me, that's not what I meant and you know it. What do I pay you for? Play something better. Right. get rid of these things here. More crows to stone. Oh, I should also point out what the shield does, but I think I'll wait till I get to the next room of the game before I do that. You might be thinking I'm making a huge thing out of this game being tough, and so far it doesn't look too tough. Believe me, I'm making it look surprisingly easy in this playthrough. It's not easy at all. This game is legendary for being terrible. Terrible controls. They actually made a couple of changes to the successful Apple Macintosh version for whatever reason. Let's try and get over this rope before another monkey comes and kills me. Made it! Okay. Now, what's worse than having to traverse traps and enemies in this game? How about traversing traps and enemies while trying to do platforming? With these fluid and responsive controls, that's going to be a cakewalk. Also, that's what the B button does now you've got the shield. You do this, I suppose you invoke the power of God himself to make yourself invincible. There are things that will still kill you even when you have the shield equipped, so just be careful of that. Also, do not have the temptation to fall down to that lower platform, because it'll kill you. As you saw earlier in the game, falling to your death is a thing that can happen, and can happen very easily, and it's very inconsistent between screens. That was death-defying right there. I think you just drop off this end, and there we go. Okay, so that's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. If I hadn't gone and got the shield, this entire path to the fireball, also nice glitching out there, Duncan, jeez. This entire path to the fireball would be a lot more difficult. But I can just make this screen completely pointless by pressing the God button, and so I don't mean to offend anyone who might have to be a Christian or follows any other kind of religion with God in it. I'll press the invincibility button then, how's that? Although I do like how he's doing an I have the power pose without the sword. Oh dear. I need to take this thing out before I make the jump, thank you. Massive leap of faith here. Now if you fell down there, it wouldn't actually kill you. I might, unfortunately, show this off later, unintentionally, but there's actually no way to fall to your death off the screen. You can fall to your death if you fall too high. Also, this is totally not a reference to Fantasia, by the way. And I invite you all to look at the graffiti on this wall. Gamers rule, okay, that's not too bad, but Saddam was here. As I say, I haven't played the original versions of this, so I have no idea if that was in the original and they just ported it over. If it wasn't in the original, this one came out right at the beginning of the First Gulf War in 1991. And that is in severely poor taste, 360, or 36, or whatever the hell you call yourselves. Now, to get to this wizard, who's actually a good wizard to help us, we have to pull these switches, and I did it in one. Oh, kill the eye. Kill the eye! That'll shoot a fireball at me if I'm not careful. Only the problem is, this is a bit of a tricky jump. If I'd hit the stairs, that would have killed me. So the wizard gives us the fireball. You might think that him zapping us here will kill us and give us a life. No, that was actually beneficial. I'm burning through this surprisingly quickly. But no matter, because this is going to flat kick my ass. So we can now go through to the Black Knight's chambers. Now, I believe in the original versions of this game, this was locked until you completed the shield and the fireball rooms. However, in the Genesis version, I could have just gone straight into it. So, amazingly, there are speedruns of this game up on YouTube that last under a minute. Yes, I'm amazed too. Also, I have 13 elixir. And this is the room where the terrible rope controls are going to cost you. So as I say, you need to make sure also the fireball has replaced our regular rock throws, but you'd still have a finite amount of them, so just be careful. You need to make sure that you're pixel perfect with this rope room. Basically, make sure that you are dangling off the back. You know what, I have 13 elixir, I don't need to worry about getting hit. I will take out these zombies or whatever they're supposed to be before I move on. This jump right here, it's really tricky. Oh god. Kill that, kill that, kill that. That is a sphinx or whatever, maybe a flying gargoyle. I'll call it a sphinx because I'm into Greek mythology. It has itself an ear-piercing shriek, as you probably heard, even over the music I've subbed in, and if it grabs you, it will either drop you down a pit into Trouble 3, pick up the elixir, Duncan, don't do the He-Man pose, thank you. This is another level where or room I should say, it's not really levels. Whoa! Wrong button. I got ahead of myself. I got a little bit too cocky there. This is one where the invincibility button really helps, because the rocks will just pass right through you. Why did I do that? Come on, I was playing really well, and then it all went to pot. Okay, let's wait on the ladder for this thing to come down. Probably not the best idea, because I'll probably get swamped by rocks. Also, this scene is also totally not a rip-off of Donkey Kong, by the way. Although, in fairness, there weren't many floating albino corpses in the Donkey Kong that I played, but that's just me. I thought he was going to drop the right back on my head. You'll notice that switch. I'm going to try and show that off for you, but it may actually come back to bite me. Because there's so many rocks. So you jump here, press it, and he gets crushed by a 1-ton weight. That jump usually kills me. I'm going to stick around because the Sphinx is coming for me. I apologise in advance for the ear-piercing shriek you're about to hear. You can also use the shield, by the way, to avoid that thing, but I prefer to watch it burn up. I don't know why I'm going for rocks. And here we come then to the final screen of the game. There's the Black Knight on his throne. We're trying to kill him. How do you think he defends himself? By throwing cups at us. I suppose they're meant to be goblets, but honestly they just look like cups of Horlicks. You can shoot the cups, or you can use the invincibility shield to avoid them, or you can just... That was close. That nearly gave me a side parting. The one thing you need to be careful of this fight, well, two things actually. Do not get stunned at all, because otherwise the Black Knight will just kill you. That was close. You can also use the fireballs, as I say, to counteract his mugs of hot cocoa. Uh-oh. Go away, thank you. Another thing I know about the original version of this game, by the way, then, is that there was actually a nice Easter egg if you played it with the clock set to Christmas. This is a tricky jump, but I made it. You'll actually get decorations for the castle, like holly, ivy, and Christmas lights. No, I've got the wrong way, actually. There we go. I'm amazed how not terrible this has been for me. Now I've said that, I'm probably going to get caught out by something. Hubris, here I come. Actually, I'm going to wait for the griffin again, I apologise. That's what it's meant to be, by the way. It's a griffin. It's not a flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz at all. There you are, the shield will just allow it to pass right through you. And believe it or not, pull this lever, and we've beaten the game. The Dark Knight, that's a Batman film. The Black Knight falls from his throne room, and I'm going to end it as a dizzy pose. And the game's ending is this. It's just a black screen that says, "Congratulations! You've defeated the Black Knight," or perhaps more realistically, "Congratulations! You've just wasted 50 minutes of your life you're not going to get back." That was surprisingly easy for me. I was expecting a lot more failure, but I guess I'll take a competently played video for Halloween as well. So this has been Dark Castle. When you press start, by the way, it just takes you to the beginning of the game again, and then it switches you to medium, and then if you beat the game again, it puts you to hard. You can just alter the levels manually as well. But the hell with that noise. I've shown the game off once. That is more than good enough for a video for me. So thank you for watching me play through Dark Castle. I've been Rainiac. Happy Halloween.